All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Alaracanfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now global series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And if you are new to me, new to our show, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is my deepest wish, desire, and intention to assist and support you on your journey. And with that in mind, through these masterclasses, we bring you guests who are sharing their wisdom, their teachings, their energies, their experiences, their tools, their resources, and their support to assist all of us, including you, the planet, and the collective, to expand our consciousness, raise our vibration and frequency, and to really move forward in our lives for what serves us, right? So all that and more. And yes, I'm cold. If someone is wondering why am I wearing my scarf like this today, it's like I'm cold. But today we have a brand new guest on the show, so we're going to get started in just a minute. But we do, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, please do. We have live shows usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This week was Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But that way, if you know that you can't attend live, you can always watch the replays, and it makes it much more convenient for you. So please do subscribe, comment, etc. That'd be great. And so today we have a new guest on our show, right? New to us. Marla Torres is with us, and we're going to be talking about discovering healing secrets encoded in the frequencies of ancient wisdom. Mouthful, but there's a lot there that we're going to talk about. So some of what we're going to talk about is specific ways to access healing codes that are found in a daily morning gratitude practice and what that can look like. We're going to talk about accessing the Akashic records and tapping into the wisdom found there. We're also going to talk about frequency-specific microcurrents, utilizing different devices and programs, and of course, so much more. And for those of you who don't know Marla, because it's her first time on our show does not mean that you may not know her, but just in case you don't know her, like I said, she is here for the first time. What do I want to say? She is a registered nurse with over 15 years of experience in critical care nursing and is an intuitive care provider. In addition to being that registered nurse, she has also participated in coursework to become a shamanic Reiki master practitioner, an Akashic records practitioner, and a Kundalini yoga practitioner. And she's also a facilitator for supporting the body with frequency-specific microcurrents. She is a creator of powerful, beautiful, and authentic tantric malas that offer an additional layer of protection for your aura. She also creates Reiki and crystal-infused essential oil blends that beautifully support the body using therapeutic-grade essential oils. And we're going to talk to Marla a little bit more and find out a little bit more of her journey because it's her first time here. So everyone, please join me in welcoming Marla to the show. I can't quite talk yet, Marla, but welcome to the show.
It's all good. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you all.
So Marla, because it's your first time, I just want, if you can just take us through a little bit about your journey, just briefly, a little bit about who you are, your journey, how you got started in becoming a practitioner of healing modalities, etc. That'd be great.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. So my journey into healing began really intensely for me about almost 10 years ago, soon after my daughter was born. I just wasn't getting over the postpartum, or what I thought was postpartum, and found out that my thyroid was, I mean, it wasn't functioning well before pregnancy, but it took a hit afterwards. And they gave me a diagnosis of Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune disease. And I felt horrible. Like I could barely care for my daughter. I was so fatigued. The fatigue was incredible. And I just wasn't okay with it though. I was like, they were just essentially, the doctor was like, okay, I'll see you in a year for lab work and you take this med for the rest of your life. And I was like, so I feel like crap for the rest of my life? And she was like, essentially, yeah. And I was like, I'm not okay with that though, So I set out to find a different way. So it was a little bit challenging at first since I was trained in Western medicine, working as a critical care nurse. I was going against the grain of everything I was taught because I truly believed inside that I could heal myself. I just wasn't sure how, but I just knew it. And I also knew that I wasn't going to claim this diagnosis. I didn't make it mine. I don't say I have this. They tried to give me the diagnosis, and I was like, no, thank you. So that really set me off on a path of, trying to find practitioners that would hear me. And as far as Western medicine, I had to fire a bunch of endocrinologists because they didn't hear me and didn't believe that it was possible. And so I started finding out more about naturopaths and, other holistic healers. And that really altered my course and it redirected me and started me down this path of doing the inner work. Because, one of my first naturopathic doctor, he said, we can do all these tests, I can prescribe supplements, but until you start doing that inner work, it's like pouring water into a bucket with holes.
Mhm.
And that really got my attention because I was like, oh crap, I'm wasting money. Like, that was initially because I was really deep in like this lack mindset, and um that grabbed my attention, but it still took a little while to take action, right? Sometimes we might be aware of something, but we're not quite in the space to take the action. And so it took me a little bit until I reached the point of, okay, now I'm ready to take action. And I started doing the inner work. I started working with a shamanic Reiki master teacher who's also an LCSW, and started doing a deeper dive. And then she's like, oh, I'm offering this, these shamanic Reiki trainings, and do you want to join? And I was like, yeah, I just knew this inner alignment. So
Mhm.
started down that path, and it just felt like home. And then I'm like, well, what else is out there, right? There's so much else out there. And kept on going, kept on going. And now, like, I'm excited to say, as of, I think it was last month, beginning of last month, I am no longer on pharmaceuticals for thyroid. I take some supplements, still supporting my body, but I have been able to release the pharmaceuticals, and I have healed myself tremendously. To the point from, going from barely getting off the couch to, take care of my daughter's basic needs and my basic needs, to now thriving and just exploring and loving life. And I want to share my story. I want people to know that there's hope, that you don't have to accept diagnoses, and also that it's not just oh, here, take a pill. Like, there's deeper issues, and once you can work on the deeper issues, so you'll notice the physical symptoms start to ease up and heal. And yeah, so I'm excited to talk about some of the tools that I've used on my
Mhm.
journey to healing here with you all today.
Awesome. Thank you. And then I just want to start off by saying, first of all, that we are not medical professionals, even though Marla is. She is a nurse, but we are not
I'm not offering medical
medical.
advice.
We're not offering medical advice in any way. If you are taking medication, continue taking the medication, talk to your doctor, etc. But we are going to be offering you alternative information, support, etc., that you can, use in conjunction with the medical system if you want to, right? So just have an open mind. But again, don't just do something blindly. If you have a medical condition, check with your doctor first, make sure it's okay. Okay. Because we don't know anything. I don't know anything. Okay. So just
Right.
bring that out there. But we do use,
Exactly.
I mean, I'm a healer as well. I use energy healing techniques and practices and modalities, etc. So I know that those can be beneficial and helpful to support a person's condition in some way. Okay. So that is awesome. And I just want to put that out there for everybody, for the YouTube land to hear that. So they don't block my account.
Disclaimer.
Yes, all these wonderful
Exactly.
disclaimers.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. And I'm glad that you were able to, use these different modalities, these different techniques, and including supplements, etc., to help yourself, right? To help yourself and help you to thrive and help you to move forward. And I'm not going to say overcome per se, but move forward on your path, right, with more ease, right?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. I
All
feel
right.
like the
So
phoenix rising,
exactly.
coming up from the
And
ashes.
and we love that, right? We want everyone to be thriving and in their lives in whatever way works for them, right? So we don't want anybody to feel like they're stuck and cannot make different choices. Different choices are always available for all of us. So with that being said, now let's talk about discovering healing secrets encoded in the frequencies of ancient wisdom. What does that mean? So let's talk a little bit about what are some of these the ancient wisdom that you wanted to share with us.
Yes, definitely. So one thing that early on I stumbled across, like for us here in the States, every year we have Thanksgiving, and in Canada they have Thanksgiving, and traditionally people like give thanks and on Thanksgiving or maybe that month, where the holiday is. So I was familiar with Thanksgiving, gratefulness in that aspect, but never dove deeper into it. And so early on in my healing, when I was really trying to discover, what's out there, what's available, like what can I use, I stumbled upon Pam Grouch. She's an author and she has some really fantastic books. And one of them was Thank and Grow Rich. And I was just devouring it. And one of the experiments was to every day write down three things that you're grateful for. Try to mix it up. Don't use the
Mhm.
same, "Oh, I'm grateful for my bed," every single day. I mean, you can be
Exactly.
grateful, you can have that gratitude, but, it really challenged me to dive deeper, to look at what all I was taking for granted, and to really shift my vibration, because we have, emotions. There's no wrong emotion, there's no bad emotion. Emotions are all serve a purpose. Um, but if you stay in the lower vibration emotions for a long time, it does affect your body and it does affect your
Mhm.
cells. So once I started to raise my vibration with gratitude, because gratitude is a very high vibration emotion. It's even higher than unconditional love. Just a smidge, it's up there with joy. It's a little bit higher. And it is incredible. I really do credit that to being one of the major players in me being able to have experienced so much healing, because every day, like I knew, like, for myself, okay, I can do this. I know, but I need some accountability.
Mhm.
It's good to have some accountability. So I started a Facebook Messenger group and invited a bunch of friends, and then asked them to invite friends too, just to come in as a support. They can join in if they want. They don't have to. But I needed people to be able to be a witness and to be able to help hold me accountable. So for like the past 5 years, almost every single day, got into that group, written down three things that I'm grateful for, and watched it shift my life. And I've also been able to watch it shifting other people's lives that are in the group. So they may not participate every single day, and that's fine. But they've reached out to me on the side privately and been like, just want you to know, like, this is making a difference in my life, even though I'm not actually actively writing down my gratitudes. This is making a difference. And I'm just like, it feels so good, because it is something that you can take for granted. So, like, something even as simple, I already said the bed, but, having some of this, clean water to drink, food to eat or nourish our bodies with, like all these things that we just assume it's going to be there because it's always been there. We have, not everybody, but a lot of people really do get to enjoy that privilege, right? And
Mhm.
so sometimes when you have that, you forget about how awesome it is. So
Yeah.
when you can just slow down and just lean into it, and I started to like use that even deeper. So being grateful for the physical symptoms I'm experiencing. Currently, right now, in this now moment, I'm experiencing some really intense symptoms from allergies. I'm grateful for it because I know I'm releasing what no longer serves me. I'm letting go, I'm shedding, I'm aligning with my higher purpose. I'm letting it go. And so you can even in the dark moments, like for me, I also went through bankruptcy and divorce and did a really huge cross country move. Even in those moments where it might feel really challenging, where it might feel really overwhelming, there's always something to be grateful for. You can
Mhm.
always find at least three things to be grateful for. So I started, implementing that during one of my morning routines. And then at night, before my daughter and I fall asleep, I ask her, because she's at the age where she's a little resistant to, what mom likes because, she's preteen and, emo and
Mhm.
like over all that. But if I ask her what made her happy, that shifts it also, and it brings her into more of a state of gratitude also, because then she's able to stop and look at, okay, what made me happy today? And then we're ending our day looking back at all the things essentially that we were grateful for. But
Yeah.
I just switched the wording a little bit so it's a little more aligned for her, and looking at what made us happy, what brought us happiness, where did we choose to find our happiness and our joy? And then when you shift off to sleep, it also, I believe it affects the quality of your sleep. I'm sure there's
Mhm.
probably studies to show that too. I don't have them, to quote, but then again, too, what you fall asleep thinking about, then you wake up in the morning with a little bit different attitude too.
For sure.
It just helps
Absolutely.
shift you, all together.
Yeah, I totally agree. And for me, gratitude is also one of my number one tools that I use and that I've shared with all my clients. It's about, and it's like being grateful, yes, but actually feeling that gratitude. It's not just the empty words, like the empty
Mhm.
shell of the words, right? It's not just that, it's like really truly feeling it. And the more that you can do that, it changes your perspective on life. When you find that there's something to be grateful for, it changes how you view life, right? And it raises your vibration frequency, absolutely. But you're looking at life through different glasses, through different lenses, right? So
Yes.
it
Yes.
absolutely makes a huge difference. I love that. I'm so glad that you talked about that, because it's something I talk about, but sometimes I'm not sure if people hear it all the time, because it's like, oh, she always talks about gratitude. It's like, well, yeah, because it is so key, so important. It raises your frequency and vibration, opens up your heart space, expands your energy field, right? To be more expanded. And with that, then you get new perspectives, new insights, and new wisdom comes through. It's able to come through in that state more freely, right?
Yeah, and I also think it kind of, I mean, because you know the law of attraction, right? So when you like manifest like, so what you're focusing on, if you're focused on anything with gratitude, for me, I just find that I have more things to be grateful for. Like
Mm-hmm.
one of my most favorite gratitude activities is, if I need a little boost, to start like at my front door of my apartment, walk through every room and just walk through slowly. Everything that I lay eyes on, everything that I see in my living space, I offer gratitude for it. I feel into it, offer gratitude for it, go through every room. By the time I'm done, I haven't done drugs, so I don't know what it's like to be high, but I feel like that's what it's like to be high, because I am just so like, oh, I feel like I'm on top of the world, and just like it's just such an incredible high, emotional
Mm.
high, for me, that it's just, you want to change your vibration, like just try
Yeah.
that. I tell you, it will shift you. You can be done, and you're gonna be like, dang, wow,
and
okay.
that's also about being present in the moment and being conscious and
Yes.
aware, right? So it's a combination of all of those things, as well as gratitude, right? So I love that.
Yeah.
So that's a great that's a great tool for all of us to use, every day, but also on those days where, like, we're struggling with something, right? We're having a hard time, things are not going the way we want or whatever. Just like take a breath, right? And walk through the house,
Yeah.
walk through this space, and just be grateful. Because sometimes when I look at my life, it's like, I was saying this just a few weeks ago to somebody, and I was complaining about something, but then it's like, okay, no, never mind. I know I have so much to be grateful for, and I am so fortunate, and I'm so lucky. Yes, 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 yes. And it's true. I have so much to be grateful for. But there are sometimes, it's like, but I want this
Right.
as well. Why
Right.
don't I have this? So
Right.
it really is important to focus on the gratitude piece, focus on what you do have, and focus on that everything that is that you have or that you're experiencing is a gift from the divine, right? You are at the perfect place at the perfect time, and it's all good, right? And so
Yes.
so for me, choosing to be grateful, choosing to be appreciative every day, choosing to be in connection with the divine every day, and trusting. That was
Yes.
my one of my biggest things, the trusting piece, right?
Yes.
Trusting the divine, as also a big piece for a lot of people, including me. But yeah, I
That's
love that.
huge.
Better
And
than drugs.
yes, exactly. Yes, Melissa, indeed it is. It's a good addiction to have, gratitude addiction.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's one of your cornerstones, right, in your practice, right,
Yes.
is the
Yes.
gratitude piece. But you also talked a little bit about the Akashic records. So accessing the
Yes.
Akashic records, tapping into the wisdom that's found there. Can you talk a little bit about that? We just had a trainer last week talking about the Akashic records teaching. She has a class coming up next week, I think it is. So I'm an Akashic records master practitioner, blah blah blah. all that stuff. So
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about the wisdom that you can get from the Akashic records that you can tap into.
Yeah, that has been tapping into the Akashic records. That has been really powerful also because, and it's also, I'm finding sometimes and I don't know why, that I forget about it. But then when I remember and I sit down and just connect, and I think it ties into that presence piece that you spoke to too, right? Like being present, being still, and connecting. It's just, like, I mean, I did it right before coming on here too because it grounds me. And I just feel so supported
Mhm.
being in that space with all wisdom, with all beings there for my highest and greatest good. You know, all my masters, teachers, loved ones, guides, all of them present, supporting me, um, guiding me. And you know, people can use the use the Akashic records for different things. I mean, you can go deep into the Akashic records to look at past lives. You can, you know, look for specific answers. You can just go for an energy bath, essentially.
Mhm.
Just sit in that energy field and just be still and just um be present with that to the point where it's helping you on a cellular level because the energy, you know, it's hard sometimes to explain to people energy, but I mean, I think it's safe to assume that most people on here probably have a bit of an understanding about it
Mhm.
if they're following you consistently, you know, like um but there's just something that it's just beyond words sometimes, just that feeling, you know, that you know you're supported
Well,
and you know you're
at,
loved and you just, you know, you have it all right there accessible for you.
at the very least, if you when you go into the Akashic records and you just allow yourself to receive, you receive healing, yes, you know, because your frequency rises, your vibration rises, um and like you said, that support, right? You're willing to receive the support from that space, from that realm, right? From the guides and angels and everybody else who happens to be there, the team, being able to receive that, you know. And really, what is healing other than changing your frequency and consciousness? That's what healing is, changing your frequency and consciousness. It's sometimes with intention, sometimes just, you know, overall, right? But all of that helps you at the cellular level, at the etheric level, like in your aura, in every area of your life and every part of your body and being, right? So you know, accessing the Akashic records, like you said, it's not just for the wisdom there, but it's also for the energy receiving that, and the concept of receiving as well, right? I just want to
Yes,
answer.
that's
I just want to say something
huge.
really quickly, Marla, if it's okay.
Yeah.
Cindy had wrote in the chat, just being grateful for everything that is going right in our lives. No, not just being grateful for everything that's going right in our lives, but also for all the things that are not going right in our lives. Because the things that are not going right in our lives, they're going to give us the wisdom and the next steps of how to change that so that, you know, it shifts and changes. So be grateful for the for the good stuff and the not so good stuff, because behind the not so good stuff is change, is wisdom, is experience, it's teachings, etc. So be grateful for everything. I know it's hard. I get it,
Everything, yeah.
right? But it's about being grateful for everything, because everything is a gift and everything can help you move forward in your lives. I just want to
100%.
address
Like,
that.
yeah, no, thank you. Because it is, you know, like who's to say if it's right or wrong, right? It's all, if you can just kind of shift your focus to being everything for your is happening for your highest and greatest good.
Absolutely.
Um, and just knowing, because, you know, and I briefly touched on it, like, you know, I went through a pretty nasty divorce. Like that's something somebody might be like, "Oh, that's horrible." No, I found so much to be grateful and used it as a
Yeah.
catalyst for my growth. You know
Yeah.
what? It definitely like gave me such an energetic boost. You know, like just like you said, it is it's a avenue for change and for
Mhm.
just kind of, you know, trust that it's you being guided in the direction that you're meant to be going in. You know,
Yeah, and it teaches you more
100%.
about who you are, right? And so,
Yes.
like Bob says, things in life do not happen to you, they happen for you. Absolutely.
Yes.
Everything is happening for you and your highest good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you for that. I just had to address that. I was like, oh, let me just address that quickly. So I want to talk a
Yeah.
little bit about frequency specific microcurrents. So I know we're going to talk about something because we talked about it, when we had our conversation earlier. But the frequency specific microcurrents and or utilizing different devices and programs. So I know you use a lot of different tools, right? So
Hmm.
you use Reiki, shamanic Reiki, you use the Akashic records, you use essential oils, etc., and you use frequency specific microcurrent programs. So let's talk a little bit about that as well, because we are all frequency. Energy is
Yes.
frequency. We are frequency.
Yes. Yes, I love it. And it's like I geek out on like the science stuff and quantum physics, even though I'm not a quantum physicist, like it intrigues me and it fascinates me and I find so much that just resonates. And I was introduced to frequency specific devices years ago, and at the time I was very resistant to them. It wasn't right for me at that time, but um over the last 6 months I was reintroduced and really leaned into it with my intuition and was guided to start utilizing them. And the device I chose was Healy. There's other devices
Mhm.
out there. I know there's other modalities, but just think of it, like you turn on the radio in your car, it's picking up frequencies, right? So just like the radio in your car can pick up frequencies, our bodies, every every one of our organs is vibrating at a different frequency and
Mhm.
emitting a different frequency. And even into our emotional and spiritual realm, there's all these different vibrations and frequencies that are happening, simultaneous, even without us even thinking about them. That's always going on. And so I started, thinking like, okay, so if we can utilize something to help us on a deeper level that's unseen, can it like really jumpstart and can it really work with physical symptoms? I was curious to find out. And so I started utilizing it and it's been pretty incredible for me and even for my daughter. Like she, again, like I said, she's a little bit like, oh, if mom likes it, I'm not sure if I should.
Mhm.
Um, and she was having some upper respiratory issues and there's a program with the Healy that is Breath of Life, and I was like, you know what, can I just try this out with you? Are you open to try it? And she's like, okay. She tried it within 10 minutes. Her symptoms, she was almost symptom free, and
Mhm.
now she's a believer. Now she's like, oh mom, can I use the Healy? So it's just been really fascinating for me to dive deeper into it and to look also because there's so much, like you said, everything is frequency. Even money is frequency, the frequency of money, playing with that, just playing with the frequencies of gratitude, of positive thoughts. They have a positive thoughts program, like to help you also with shifting at a cellular, even deeper than cellular level, right? Because it like helps with like ATP production, so it's really going like really down deep, and it's really been really fascinating and incredible. Like there's still so much that I'm learning about it, but I love having it in my toolbox. Like I
Mhm.
love having it as a modality to use. And it's also like Reiki where you can facilitate that for another person, to be able to direct those frequency programs to assist them. And so I'm like super excited to be able to use that with clients also. There's a coaching app part that really just dives deep into it. And then you just run the frequencies, you tune into what that person needs. And
Yeah.
that's what's so cool is that it's specific to your energy. It's not one size fits all, like, even with this device, like if it senses that your energy field has evened out and you don't need the remaining 30 minutes of the program, it shuts off. It doesn't just run it for, 60 minutes because that's what it's programmed to. It is constantly feeling in and feeding into your energy field and matching up and aligning. And to me, that's just it's quantum physics, so it's just to me, it's like, whoa, this is so cool.
I
I
love that.
love it. I love
Yeah.
playing with this. This is so fun. Um, so yeah, it's cool to be able to open up to possibilities, right? So for me, I've growing up, I grew up in a very strict and structured and judgmental, regimented religion.
Mm.
And I've since left that. And I've been retraining and reprogramming myself to be able to think outside the box, to be able to look and see, like, what are the possibilities? Anything is possible. And look and see, like, okay, well, what could be the best possible outcome? Like, let's just imagine, you know, the imagination, it's endless. And what's even cooler is, our minds are just going on our past, right? What we've experienced up to this point in life. But the reality is the universe is so much bigger than that. Source is so much bigger than that. There's so many more options out there for us. And like, when you can when you can just release your attempts at control and about being all regimented and just be like, okay, well, what's possible? What is possible? What other options are out there to assist me with healing and growing and becoming the best version of myself, and also with assisting others on their journey? Like, how else? What can help me help others better? Like, so it's just opening up to those possibilities, and so it's just cool to see what is coming into my awareness. What is coming to my reality to be able to experience. I just love it. Geeking
Yeah.
out on it.
I love that. And that's the thing. Like sometimes we get so stuck in our way of thinking, or even our programs, our patterns of behavior every day, thinking the same thoughts every day, that we don't even recognize that something else is possible, because we can't, we're not aware of it, right? So a lot of growth, healing, change, transformation starts with being present, right? Being present and being aware. And a lot of times it's hard because we get caught up in our day-to-day, we get caught up in our mind, we get caught up in the work that we're doing, and so it's like, it's so important for all of us to just take stock every couple of times in the day. Where am I right now? Like, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? Like, what's going on? Where am I? Who am I, in this moment?
Yeah.
And so a lot of these tools that you talked about, it can be used kind of like as a reset, right? So the
Yes.
gratitude piece can be like a reset. Going into the Akashic records and just being in the energy can be like a reset. Using frequency tools also can be like a reset, right? Because sometimes we need that
Yes.
extra support.
Yes. Yes. 100%. And I absolutely love that you keep bringing up being present, because that is something that is so huge, that came to my awareness like really more deeply in the last year. Have you read The Presence Process? I don't know if you've read that by
No.
Michael Brown. So I read that book and worked through the 10 weeks of the is it really experiments? I'm not sure what wording he uses, but just every day, really focusing on being present. And it's incredible how things shift. It
Mm-hmm.
is really incredible. And our society is so fast paced and all about doing, 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 going, going, going. And how much, like, oh, you'll sleep when you die and all this stuff. It's like, no, there's so much value in slowing down,
Yeah.
in resting, in being present, in being still. And I found for myself, when I can do that, when I can be in stillness, that's when the answers come. That's when the downloads just like,
Mm-hmm.
whoo, because, and I just got angel bumps. Thank you guys. Um, that's when we can really receive so much wisdom for our lives, right? Just be still, just
Yeah.
be present. It might feel like it's a really hard thing to do. It might seem like a really, um, high task, but even start with 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Everyone
Yeah.
has 5 minutes. Everyone
Every,
has 5 minutes.
Everybody
Just
can
start
find
with
five
5 minutes.
minutes
Yes.
just to sit and
Yes.
focus on your breath, or focus on your hand.
Yes.
There's no process per se to stillness. And people get so caught up, and it's like, oh, it must be difficult. There must be some ritual. There must be something I have to do, and I'm not doing it right. No, it's about just
No,
being for 5 minutes, just being without
exactly.
thinking the
Just
best
be.
you can. The thinking is going to slow
Mhm.
down. It's not going to stop. Thinking never stops, people, but it can slow down. Okay. And that's all we want. We
Yeah.
just want it to slow down so that we can, tap into who we are. So,
Yeah.
I love that. So I know I forgot to mention, Marla, at the beginning of the call, that we were going to be taking live caller questions, right? Like,
Sure. Awesome. Yeah. a card deck, and I'm tuned into the Akashic records. So we'll play.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
play.
So you can raise your hand, or you can type your question in the chat. Do you want people to raise their hand or type their question in the chat, or can you do either?
Either. I have the
Either.
chat open, so either one.
Okay, awesome. Everyone's shy right now. It's like, oh my God, no. Usually people have their hand raised before I say raise your hand, but it's like, okay, so what kinds of questions
There we
do
have
you
Manisha.
yeah, but what kind of questions do you want, or what kind of information do you need from people?
I'm just hearing like they can ask the question, and then I'm going to tune into the Akashic records and I'll pull a card and we'll see what is meant to come through for them, because sometimes we're not meant to get the answers that we want right in that moment.
That's true.
Sometimes the answer might be to wait. So
yeah, but do you need like their full legal name, date of birth, anything like that? No. Okay, perfect.
No. Yeah.
Okay. So Manisha is going to go
question.
first because she's the only brave one here today. Nobody else wants to know anything. But after Manisha goes, then everyone else is going to be like, oh, okay, I want to raise my hand too.
And ready. There we go. Cindy, we're getting them. All right, awesome. Manisha's first.
Yeah, go ahead, Manisha.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I love today's call. It's so amazing. Really,
Good, awesome.
Thank you, Marla, and thank you, Alara. I just would love some clarity. I am doing a lot of the gratitude, etc. And I love the way you've said, and Alara always say, surrender, because everything happens with divine timing. And I echo as well when you said, about you having gone through a difficult divorce. I've gone through, but I've evolved so much. I'm not the same person that I was yesterday or the other, like 20 something years ago. I feel more empowered.
So what's your question?
Yeah, I'd love to see if you've got any clarity for me with moving forward.
Okay, but more specific. Know I don't like questions like that.
No.
So I'm telling everybody, you have to have a specific question. Otherwise, go ahead and put your hand down, right? There's no read my field. There's no just tell me what my guides want to know. No, you have to have a specific question. I think that's more transformational and helpful for you. That's why I say that. It's not because I'm being mean.
No, absolutely. No. I love your honesty. Yes, I've got two career paths. I'm an interior designer, and I'm looking at incorporating something like sacred geometry, etc., or colors. Would that be a good path? Or can I also, at the same time, I'm working on bringing webinars, etc., some healing with people suffering from IBS, because I've done, I've suffered for 40 years. So those are my questions.
You haven't suffered, you've been challenged with.
Yes. Okay. Change the word, challenged, living with it.
Yes, our words are important.
30 years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what I'm hearing, like immediately as soon as you said sacred geometry, it was like high vibe energy. That caught my attention right away, and my guys are like, yes.
Me too.
That is
absolutely. Yeah.
So yes. And let's just see if they have more in the way of a card. So it is Sophia, Divine Wisdom, from this Goddess Power deck. And it's number 47, in case you're into numerology. Human wisdom comes from personal experience, but divine wisdom is unknown to our life experience. When we ask for help, we are asking for guidance from a source greater than us, a great unknowable mystery. When we receive it, it is often life-altering and affects us in ways beyond our comprehension. The Gnostic goddess Sophia, who brought the material world into being, arrives to show you how fate and destiny operate in relationship to synchronicity. When you least expect it, opportunities and meetings spring up as if out of nowhere. Your life begins to work out, and you sense your alignment with a higher purpose and power. Trust you are divinely protected and directed. Practice the act of faith before results. This is an essential key in co-creating your world. When you are disconnected from your higher power, you begin to believe that you alone are the source of abundance in life. It is wise to commit to a conscious and deliberate daily connection to a higher power. When you forget to do this, you may place too much attention on materialism work, money, goals, and the like. The goddess Sophia reminds you that it's the spiritual aspect and the invisible aspect, the essence of your desires, that means more than the form. You may be mistaking something false for divine guidance right now. It's time to come back into alignment and receive true divine guidance, divested from wishful thinking or ego attachments. Opening to the wisdom of the mystery of the universe is your alignment task now. Let the goddess Sophia guide you to your magic. The most meaningful and beautiful expression of yourself is waiting for you. And I was just hearing as I was reading that you will, as you do that, you will receive, like they said, that meeting. So you're going to see how things start to shift for you with your business shifting, with the using the sacred geometry and the colors and really tapping into an energetic level. You're going to see things start to shift for you, and it's just going to all fall in place for you synchronistically as you trust and as you stay connected to your higher source. You're muted.
Thank you. Yeah, I muted myself. Thank you so much. So much wisdom and so many messages. I'm going to listen to the replay and then just listen to all the messages and take that. Thank you so much, Marla.
Awesome.
And thank you, Alara.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Thank you, Manisha. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to Marielle.
Okay. So what's next for me professionally? A part-time, full-time job, when, where, any detail, any?
So that's more like a psychic question than anything else.
I'm just hearing, like, what brings your heart joy? What brings you happiness? Where do you feel lit up?
I like environmental protection.
And I'm hearing also that as you tune in, the same similar message as we just had, as you tune in to your higher self, to a higher source, the synchronicities are going to happen. It's going to all line up. Let me see if there's any additional information to come through. White buffalo woman, calf woman, reverence. And it's number 50.
So I think with the cards, Marla, just do a general thing instead of reading the whole thing, because it's can be too long.
Okay.
Summarize it if you can, or the key points.
It might take a while to read through it, then to summarize. I'll just do the alignment message part of it. Unconscious choices and behaviors may be causing a distortion in your world. Difficult feelings are part of the journey of self-discovery. You may have been conditioned to suppress what makes you uncomfortable in order to survive. You might have found yourself in a temporarily awkward place with someone and don't know what your next step should be. White Buffalo Calf Woman offers you this alignment task. Make the discomfort, awkwardness, and the uncomfortable sacred. Think of what would happen if you made what you considered a flaw, loss, or failure a beautiful, integral part of the art of your life. Every breath you take is sacred, every mistake you make is a gift, and every time you learn from a relationship is blessed. Bless all parts of you and your life, for you are sacred, and White Buffalo Calf Woman wants you to be at peace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Marielle. Cindy, go ahead. Oops.
Oh, trying to get the videos. Hi, Alara, Marla, and everybody.
Hello.
Hello. So I have a question, if I'm able to ask. In my Akashic records, did I choose to be here with the relationship patterns that I've been going through? I'm just wondering if these were all meant to be lessons. The partners that I've chosen have not been very supportive of me. And I'm just wondering, did I choose these lessons?
I don't know if you can see
Was
me
I-
nodding, but yes.
100%.
I can.
Yeah, absolutely. So then just because you chose something does not mean that you can, so then it's about learning the lessons from each of the relationships, right? And the pattern, what was the gift in that? But I'll let Marla go on with that. But yes, everything that we have chosen, especially relationships, we've chosen on purpose for us to learn something, to grow from it. And sometimes it's about resolution, right? Resolving old karmic patterns, what this life is for. Okay, so just always keep that in mind too. Is it possible that this is just an old karmic pattern that is now resolving? Right, but we definitely, yes, there's a reason for it, and your soul, your higher self, chose it for you to experience it and learn from it and grow. Marla, go ahead.
100%, 100%. I was nodding right along with you, because everyone, even from somebody as simple as, passing and saying hello in the grocery store, every person's path that you cross is on purpose. It was all for a reason. There's all something you may not always know in that moment, but especially even more intimate relationships, 100%. You definitely, it was your souls made an agreement as you came into this lifetime that there was that lesson that needed to be learned, that your soul needed to learn for this journey. 100%, 100%.
Does it get better? I just have to ask that.
So it won't get better if you don't make any changes.
You have to heal. You have to, if you're not learning the lesson, if you're not progressing with what your soul's contracted for, then you're just going to keep learning it, and it just keeps getting harder until you learn and you heal, and then it eases up. So yes, it can get better, but after you've learned what you needed to learn for this lifetime. Yeah.
So what do you think that is, Cindy? I'm putting Cindy on the spot. What do you think that is for you?
I think it's been a big learning lesson of something that I had to learn. Do I want to continue with this contract? I don't know. Have I finished the contract? Is it time for me to move out of this chapter? I guess that's what I've been asking myself.
But do you know what the lesson is? What you've been trying to learn? Have you been able to figure that out?
I'm not exactly 100% sure, but it's teaching me to be more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Sovereign?
Yes, that's one of them.
That's what I was getting for you. It's about you being sovereign.
I think so. That's a big part of it.
Yeah. But Marla, is there any other takeaway for Cindy that she can any good stuff?
I was just gonna asking what is her relationship with herself like? Does she love herself? Where is she at with her standing in her power?
So I was spot on.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
right. We are on the same wavelength, Alara. No
Yeah.
surprise. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah. So it is about you being sovereign, standing in your power, right? Owning your worth and value.
That makes sense. Yes, I can go with that.
So start with that for
Advice.
yourself. It doesn't mean you have to suddenly end your relationship or anything like that, but start with that for yourself. Start embodying that, okay? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Start
Thank you. Yes,
recognizing
I
that within
appreciate
you and embodying that, and then start to see, how things start to shift and change. But, I'm sure Marla has more wisdom as well.
No, it definitely is what I'm hearing too, is like once you can shift and realize that nobody outside of yourself is what gives you value, and really find that value and that love within you, things will shift for you.
Thank you. I really needed to hear that positive reinforcement. I appreciate that. Thank you. Many blessings.
Awesome. Thank you,
to
Cindy.
all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, sometimes I can be a little bit abrupt, with my information that comes through. That's why I said, Marla will be nicer. I can be a little bit to the point, I guess you could say. Okay, Randy.
Good.
Randy, you have a question for Marla?
Woohoo! So it starts out being a little psychic, but it's definitely an Akashic record reading relative to, well, I need to move, but I've been in the same house for more than 50 years.
Oh, wow.
And I feel supported by this house. And, but, there's just such a daunting task of refining what I'm taking with me that, that's where I am. Thank you for your consideration. Will I need to move?
So will he need to move? Will Randy need to move?
I mean, I'm not hearing that it needs to. I mean, what came up as you were speaking is why? Like, what's making you think that you need to move? Like, is there something happening that you feel that that's what it is, but it doesn't feel, it feels grounded.
That's what I was getting to. Like, why do you feel you need to move? Why do you need to move?
Yeah.
That's what I was getting.
It's a family house, and the county's after me for nursing home money. So it's coming down to I need to go to court and fight for it if I'm going to stay. And I'm not a fighter. At least I'd walk away from most of them as much as possible. So I'm getting forced into a fight. That's the problem. As you asked.
Yeah.
What does your heart say?
Walk away, but it's not very practical.
Sometimes our heart asks us to do things that aren't practical because there's something else better for us.
Ignorance is bliss, as far as.
So they say. I don't know.
But yeah, when you said the reason why, Randy, I also got the walking away part as well. Because you're not a fighter, and I don't have that fighting. I'm not feeling that fighting energy. It's easier for yourself to just walk away as well. It's not losing, it's not giving up, it's making a different choice.
A big choice. Thank you for your consideration.
It is a big choice. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, feel into it some more, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The ignorance is bliss part, not meant to be respectful of anything. Simply, if I don't pay attention to the fight, then it's doing what it's doing, and I'm doing what I'm doing, which is not do that.
Yeah, and you're very intuitive, and you're very
Thank you.
Your vibration and frequency are not the same match as the fighting for it part. It's
yes, it's like it's like my energy is it's like a black hole when you go up against entities that are so driven by their own economic self-interest that you can't even see the covert narcissism until like after it. Time.
So I would ask the questions. It's like, okay, so I mean, you have to choose, right? So let's say you chose, I'm going to not fight for this. I'm going to walk away. All right, universe, show me the path. Right? What does that look like? What's the next step? And of course, ease and grace filled, right? And just tap into it. Just feel into it and see what you get.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you, Randy. Love you too. It's a difficult one for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to quickly, there was a question in the chat. I'm going to go back to the live people in a second, so not to worry. There was Leslie. If Leslie's still here, she was asking, what is my best path for releasing this weight I've been dealing with since menopause and even more in the past year? It's a great question.
Yeah, as I was reading that, because I was starting to read through the chat questions too. I was just hearing that your body's trying to protect you. There's something your body is trying to protect you from, whether it's I'm getting some trauma or emotional something. The words aren't quite there, but I'm feeling it and I'm seeing it. It's what you're working through or what you are preparing to work through on an energetic level. Your body has that extra weight to A, keep you grounded, and B, protect you. Your body is trying to protect you as you process this, as you go through this. And when it feels it's safe to do so, that's when it will be released. Just sending you a lot of love because I know that could be challenging.
Yeah, let us know how that resonates with you, Leslie. Protect me from what, I wonder? So some sort of emotional trauma, emotional experiences. So this is the thing that people don't always get. So sometimes we might like Leslie might be thinking, well, I don't have anything going on right now. But the thing is that the trauma, the fear, the emotional wounding could have been from a long time ago, but it's now time for it to be released. So before it can be released, because maybe it can be difficult stuff that we didn't want to look at before. So now it might be coming up to be looked at, but the body is protecting us so that we can look at it with more ease, right? So protecting us as we look at the stuff that's coming up. I don't know. That's what I'm getting, but Marla, I'll let you answer that part.
Yeah, it's hard to, it's like, it felt like it's hard to put into words, but I feel like you were putting it into words better. Like I was hearing it and feeling it, but to get the verbal part coming out, sometimes it's like, okay, I hear you guys, and I know I can see the picture in my head, but how do I translate this? Yeah, just they're inviting you to shift how you are viewing it. Also, to look at it, they're inviting you to shift to a place of love and gratitude to your body for wanting to protect you, for innately knowing what you need, the support you need. Our bodies are super wise, and when we can shift out of looking at our bodies as if they are failing us or that they are doing something we don't like, if we can just take a moment to maybe shift even just a little bit and offer gratitude to our bodies for all the work that they're doing for us on an energetic level and a cellular level that we don't even begin to realize.
Yeah.
And just
absolutely.
hearing that you're loved and protected, and yeah, they're just inviting you to come at it from a place of love.
Yeah, it's not always easy, right? But we can do it. And the body is such a support for us. It's our partner during this journey.
Yeah.
All right. So Tanya, Tanya with a J. It's just like both of these Tanyas, go on at the same time. So it's like Tanya with a J. Yeah, go ahead, Tanya.
Hello. I would like to ask Marla if she can tune in Akashic record and tell me, I'm trying to get my children back, and what do I need to do? Because it's a lot of obstacles to get them back.
I'm feeling a lot of loving support coming through for you from the Akashic realm. One suggestion is to call on Archangel Zadkiel, Lady Portia, Lady Amethyst, and Saint Germain. Those four as a team are often very helpful with resolving any legal matters for the highest and greatest good of all involved. And I'm hearing also to call on the violet flame before you go into any conversations around the situation. Call on the violet flame to ask that your words and everything that is said be transmuted to love and come from a loving place and from a loving energy. And they're sending you a lot of love, and just to know that you are supported at all times, and to ask them for help and support, that they're there for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I'll pray every day and I'll call those archangels. Thank you.
Awesome. Good. Thank you, Tanya. Do that for sure.
Thank you.
All right, Tanya Caldwell.
Hello, Marla. Hello, Lara.
Hi.
I actually understand the lady that asked the question about marrying the same guy. I mean, I had the same thing. I got my lesson, and
You're cutting out, Tanya.
because now you hear me?
Yeah.
Now I think, do I really need relationship, or should I just go alone in my spiritual kind of way? Or will I feel lonely when I'm older? I have no idea, but I talked to many healers and kind of people who chose spiritual road, and a lot of them are single. Some of them, they say, my family doesn't know what I do. I don't know even how it's possible. And so I think, is it kind of necessary for me? Am I gonna meet somebody who will support me, not laugh at me, or thinking that I'm talk about something crazy? Is there anything in my private life you can see or suggest?
I'm just hearing a very similar message to what was given earlier. It was like, where are you with loving yourself? Looking for that love and fulfillment outside of yourself. Well, you'll never find fulfillment. Looking for that to come from a partner or to come from any other relationship. I'm just hearing that it's super important for you to be in a space where you're loving yourself, with you're okay to be alone with yourself, because ultimately you are all you need. And aside from the Akashic records, from my personal life, I get it. 100% I get it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, but I would like a partner. It needs to come back. For me, I've learned too, it needs to come back to me loving myself and being okay with being with Marla. If I'm not okay with being with me, why would I expect anybody else to be okay with being with me? Quite frankly. But I'm here to just pull a card quick for you. Lakshmi, fortune. Number 27.
So I just want to say really quickly, when I divorced my second husband, when I was divorcing, I divorced, I was in the process, and my dad asked me, he was like, oh my God, what are you going to do? How are you going to be by yourself now? It's like, Dad, I'd rather be alone by myself than be married to, my ex-husband, to be with somebody who does not appreciate me, who does not recognize me, who does not, like blah, 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 who does not. I'd rather be alone. Right.
Exactly.
And so I was alone for a short period of time, but I had written down on a piece of paper. I told you this. I wrote down on a piece of paper some of the qualities that I wanted in my next partnership. And my husband now, he, I met him after the fact. I lost the note, like completely lost it. And then I found it, a few years later, and it's like, oh my God, it's like everything that I'd written down pretty much was my husband, my current husband now. Right. So, but first I had to be okay with being alone with myself.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm fine with myself. Absolutely fine. And I actually also ordered the only husband, but because I didn't love myself, it didn't work. I didn't keep my boundaries. I gave away my power, and I actually fault myself for not being me, but trying to be somebody else to just suit everyone, and so now, yes, I'm fine. I can be fine by myself, and I have lots of friends, but if I could meet like soulmates that is probably on the same way like me, like spiritual awakening, that probably wouldn't be bad. That's what I think.
That's not necessarily true. You don't know what when somebody else is on a spiritual awakening path, you don't know what's going to happen, how they're going to be. Like, it can be quite difficult. So it's like, it's not about the spiritual awakening path. It's about somebody who understands you and respects you.
Yeah, well, at least supports me understands what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's what you want to write down. Somebody who supports me, understands me. Not that they be on the same spiritual path, because we're all on our own different journeys.
that's
And
the
our
new
spiritual
letter.
awakening journey is going to be different than anybody else's.
Good idea, new letter.
Right. So so just make sure you're very clear about that. Don't be careful what you wish for, is all I'm going to say about that.
Yes. And number
And
20,
they're also saying what's meant for you will never pass you by.
that's I like.
100%.
That's what I believe.
And just,
Yeah.
yes. And quickly, just summarizing from this card with Lakshmi, the goddess of luck and prosperity says it's time to share your good fortune with others, and she will show you how it multiplies when you apply gratitude, praise, and a commitment to serve. If it's material success you intend, you shall co-create it. If it's a rich relationship life, you will attract and develop it. You are a magnet for miracles. Nothing is out of reach when the goddess Lakshmi comes calling.
Oh, thank
Nice.
you.
Good.
That's
Awesome.
amazing
So it
message.
is.
Made my day. You made my day. And all
Awesome.
the other days. Thank you. Thank you, Alara. Thank you, Marla.
Good.
I appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Tanya.
Tanya. Thank you. All right, we're going to go to Bob.
Marla, I have a question for you. I get everything you're saying. It makes a whole lot of sense. I get the whole vibrational thing, and I try to keep my vibration high. However, I love your story because my wife is not a very good healer. She's got an autoimmune disease, spinal stenosis. She's on her second knee surgery on the same knee. And at night, I say, what are you grateful for? Because I know that raises the vibration. I truly understand and believe that. However, I'm getting resistance to that. And I'm getting a fight on that. And I think she's into a self-sabotaging scenario. So what I'm looking for is some thoughts about, and I know everybody's got free will, even as annoying as it is. And I can't change her free will, but I can change the vibration somehow that deters her from the self-sabotaging behavior. So I'm looking for a solution of what I can do, and considering people have free will, what can I do to help lift her vibration up? Because I know she'll heal when that happens.
I'm hearing that they're asking you to focus on you. As much as you love your wife and want to help her raise her vibration and heal, you cannot shift her vibration. You cannot change her. But by you being in a state of gratitude, of having your vibration high, like when you are in the presence of people like that, right, you feel better, you feel different. So when you can focus on keeping your vibration high, keeping your vibration in the place where you are attracting health and alignment and all the good stuff that you desire in your life for yourself, things will shift in your household and she'll notice the difference and you'll see things shifting for her. But what they're saying is you can't do anything specific for her. I mean, I'm hearing if you wanted to connect with her higher self, but even that, like, her higher self is working with her. It's not anything that you can control, but you could always speak to her higher self and speak your intentions and your love, but it ultimately comes back to you being in a state of alignment, you being in a state of gratitude, you being coming from a place of love. If you can, excuse me, I'm going to cough. 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so part of that has to be, Bob, we never want to see our loved ones hurting or suffering or being ill or anything like that, right? So I totally understand that part for sure. But at the same time, I just wonder, I'm not asking really, like, why is she choosing these experiences to have difficulty healing, right? To be challenged with the healing. Why is she not willing to receive the healing? So even though we can't change her perspective, her outlook, her ideas, once you raise your vibration frequency and that automatically starts to radiate out to her. So right when you're at peace and you're in allowance of, okay, whatever she's choosing, that's going to allow more of your vibration frequency to go to her, because right now it feels like there's she's like resisting, she's fighting it, right? Because you want this so badly for her. You want her to accept this, you want her to change, you want her to heal, right? But there's a resistance, there's a block, there's a wall there. So when you go into more of the allowance of, okay, this is what she's choosing, I'm going to raise my vibration frequency, that will start to break down some of those walls and some of that resistance.
And I also have to surrender to that.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do. And I'd asked a healing guide that comes to me, you know, how to work with her. And she doesn't walk when she needs to walk to heal her knee. And the guy, and she said to me, would you like to walk around the neighborhood? And I said, yeah. And I've been bugging her to do that. And so I know those little things happen from time to time, but I think it's some of her past life trauma. There was some karma that she's not let go of, which is keeping her stuck with where she is. And I understand that. It's just, I think for me, I just have to surrender.
And it's hard. And I'm sure you're frustrated because, you know, you love her and you care about her and you don't want her to see her suffering. But in the end, it comes down to her choice and her journey, right? Mm. And we can't force anybody to make a choice, you know, to heal or whatever, right? As much as we would like to, right? As much as we would love it. I mean, I send healing out to people and everything, and some people receive it and some people don't, right? And there are times when I receive healing and I don't receive it because so there's something in the back of my mind that says, no, I want to stew in this a little while longer or whatever, you know? So she hasn't gotten to that point where she wants to heal. So there's, you know, it could be like a past life thing and whatever, for sure. But she hasn't gotten to that realization. And I'm sorry if that
you're breaking up
abrupt as well, but oh, sorry. But I was just going to say, we have to allow people their journey, right? Best we can.
I guess so.
I know it's difficult.
Yeah.
Marla, is there anything else you wanted to add?
I was just hearing what you resist persists. So it really just ties into what you were saying about surrender. When you can just let go of trying to control and change the situation.
But Bob, you know, people don't always receive healing, but I always send unconditional love and blessing. So you know, it's like I just send it and it's for their highest good, wherever they need it, for whatever they need it. The higher self will accept the unconditional love and blessings, right? Healing, people don't always want to receive because it means change. But unconditional love and blessings is going to be for their highest good and wherever, however they need it. So they usually will receive that. So I would say try that as well, right? Send her unconditional love and blessings and see how that starts to shift her as well.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. So I know that, Marla, you were going to do something else today, right?
Was I honestly don't remember.
Me neither. I don't know either. So, but before that, anyway, let's I want to talk a little bit about the package, which is basically a 1 hour personal session with you, right? So I wanted to just quickly talk about that. I'm going to share my screen because I've been loving these personal readings with everybody. So, but I just wanted to share my screen really quick. All right. Can you see that? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so basically a personal session with Marla for $97. It's a 1 hour one-on-one session with Marla via Zoom. Will be recorded. All right, what do you want to share about it? I know obviously you're gifted, intuitive.
So yeah, it's just a beautiful opportunity to just tap into intuitively to what you need in that moment in time. So it's not a cut and dry like, oh, this is just going to be Reiki, or oh, this is just going to be, you know, frequency specific programs. It's really just connecting, and I just got full body angel bumps again, just really connecting with your energy, with where you are in that moment and what you need in that moment, and just going with the flow. if it entails, running the coaching session with the Healy and then supporting you for, several minutes a day remotely for a week, then that's what it will be. It's just going to be what you need in that moment. And you have a plethora of options from which we'll pull from to play in the energetic field and just, yeah, it feels really good.
So this is about change and transformation. It's not necessarily, well, yeah, I mean, everything is change and transformation, but it's basically change and transformation on their path of where they want to go moving forward. It's, can you like, when you're tapping into them and working with them, because some people are still wanting to know, like, what are my gifts? What am I here to do? What is my purpose, etc. Can you also, give people that type of information too in a session?
So yeah, we can tune into the Akashic records and see what's coming through. Like I said earlier, like sometimes those exact answers we're not meant to know in that moment. So just tuning in and seeing if that's something that's meant to come through and tuning in. But a lot of times you already know the answer. All of our answers are within us. And a lot of times you already know it. Sometimes people desire that validation or just that confirmation of, your angels, your team is saying this is what's right for you, but ultimately, I'm just here to support you because you do have all the answers within you.
And so Marla's session, 1 hour session, is $97, which is normally $297. So it's a savings of 65%. And of course, there is a payment plan available. And if you're an Inner Circle member, you can use your 10% or 25% gift code. So please do take advantage of that. There's some wonderful testimonials on the page as well. So please take a look at those. And how far in advance are you booked, Marla?
I have openings now. We're good we're ready.
Awesome. Good. I love that. So there was a message from Chris in the chat. Sorry, Chris, I missed it. Is there a message for me about why I'm having trouble with lower back issues?
Let's tune in. So what I'm feeling, like even in my body, is like a resistance to flexibility. Is there something I'm feeling like there's an issue or something in your personal life where you are not maybe being as flexible as you could be, or just looking at the other side. Just guys are inviting you to be open to any and all possibilities, to relax. I'm sorry, I'm feeling it in my body too, like just to relax and to have some movement, bring some movement into your physical body too, and see things shifting, because sometimes that you need a little stretching, but it feels energetic. It doesn't feel so much like it is per se. I mean, as we know, oftentimes the physical symptoms are a result of stagnant energy or traumas. But what's coming through is there's an issue that you could be open to more flexibility with options.
Yeah, I was going to say the same sort of things, like where are you stuck in your life? Where are you not moving forward? Where are you not moving at all? So even a small baby step is going to help to shift and change that energy, get it moving forward. Oh my goodness, Tia Rihanna, I hope I'm saying your name properly. I'm so sorry if I'm not. She said, I've been planning to start a company. Do I have any chance to success? So far, I've messed up everything in my life again and again.
Not messed up.
I know, right? It's like, no,
it's not a mess up.
Everything happens for a reason, and everything is happening for your highest good. So what was the lesson, right? And all those things.
Yeah.
Do I have? So I'm going to say there's always a chance of success, but I'm going to let Marla go see if she gets anything more about that.
Yeah, I'm feeling like tune into your heart. Like, is this starting a company, is it something that you're feeling called to from your heart? Like it's really a heart movement, or is this something that is makes economic sense? What is like, so just to, they're inviting you to stop and take a look at the reason behind why you wanted to start a company, and to feel into that, and to, like we spoke earlier too in the call, I forget one of the other listeners, about what makes your heart happy. Look at what brings you joy, what lights you up inside. Yeah, and that nothing is messed up. It's all part of the highest and greatest good for you. It's all part of the higher plan. There's always something to learn from the quote unquote mistakes. And they're just sending you a lot of love, and just, yeah, inviting you to look a little bit deeper at your why.
And then, if you say something like, so far I've messed up everything in my life again and again, you're basically just judging yourself and negating all the wisdom and lessons that you could have been learning, so that judgment takes away all that wisdom and all the wonderful, wonderful learnings and teachings. So it's like, yes, I mean, I've done a lot of different things myself, so I know it can be difficult. And it's like, what was my mindset at the time, and yeah, so sometimes the mindset was not coming from my heart, it was coming from logic. This would be the right thing to do, it's like, but it wasn't really what I wanted, so I can totally relate with that. So let us know how that resonates with you. Okay. Arietta, did you have a quick question for Marla, since you're unmuted? No? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and mute that back. As a compliment with, I don't know why I keep freezing. Sorry, I keep freezing. My internet keeps freezing. I think my husband was downloading or uploading something, and maybe he forgot that I had a show today. But anyway, it's all good. All right, so Marla, any last words of wisdom for us today? Oh, and there's a free gift from Marla on the gift page. Marla, you want to just tell us a little bit about what that is?
Oh, yes, I have. If you go to my website and sign up, you can download a free gratitude meditation that you can play over and over again, just to help you connect and ground and be in that state of gratitude. It was a fun meditation to record. But yeah, what I'm hearing is just a reminder about coming back to love. It sounds cliche also, along with the gratitude thing. It sounds cliche, but it truly is the answer. Like, when we can come back to a space of love, starting with ourselves, like that's where, I just got, again, full body angel bumps. That's where it all starts with, when we come back to loving ourselves fully. And then it has this ripple effect out into the world, and you change lives.
And I always say, if you can't love yourself, because love is a trigger word, you can at least accept yourself, at least appreciate yourself, at least acknowledge yourself for all that you are and the blessing that you are in our world, right? Because I know sometimes, it's like, love myself. What are you talking about? How can I possibly love myself? Look at all this stuff in my life and blah, blah, blah. Look what I did, or look what I didn't do, judgment. But can I accept myself? Absolutely. Right? So can you accept yourself today? Just acceptance. And that's going to help you to get to that place of neutral, and then raise your vibration. Okay. So, but yes, if you can love yourself, even better. So, just loving, put your hands on your heart chakra, and, just tell yourself, I love myself. I love you, Alara. I love you, Marla. I love you, whatever your name is. I love you. Okay. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it was awesome. So 1 second, there's something in the chat really quickly. Jane was asking, was it Bob, the previous questioner, who wanted to help his wife? Yes, there was a bit of synchronicity for me. Your answers were great. Thank you. I'm going to say thank you for me and Marla, but she says, I had a question. Could some other influence be blocking the person? That's what seems to be happening in the story I'm connected to, but you say we can only give them love to help them with their karma, right? Yeah, if there is some other influence blocking them, even then, right, you know, we can, I guess, still continue to give them unconditional love and blessings until they're ready to, even, you know, if it's an entity or whatever, you know, if they're willing to release that, or if they're even willing to acknowledge that, right? So if they're not even willing to say, oh, maybe I have an entity or some, whatever, negative energy around me or whatever, you know, if they're not willing to release it because they don't even believe it, you know, the best we can do, at least we can do is continue to send unconditional love and blessings. So Marla, what do you think about that?
I mean, it just, to me, it comes back, I'm hearing that it comes back to, it's really the other person's journey. And even if it is an entity or another influence blocking them, just like you said, I mean, it's, they have to be ready to release it. And then that's, you know, I can relate to. There's also a lot of synchronicity in my life around that. But just when I can come to the acceptance of that it's their journey, and release any attempts at control, even if I feel like it's coming from a place of love, just surrendering into, you know, keeping my side of the street clean and
Yeah.
focusing on my journey.
Yeah. I had that too for myself, lots of entity attachments and things like that. And, you know, I was suicidal and just, you know, like a whole bunch of stuff, you know, so it happens, but at least, you know, I was a little bit aware and realized like, oh God, maybe there's something. So then I did go to one of my teachers and say, can you please, you know, and he's like, yeah. And then night and day, like, you know, within the session, night and day. It's like, oh my God, you know, so it's, it can happen, right? For sure. But again, you know, that might not be something that she's willing to look at. But if we are willing to look at it for ourselves, absolutely, that's something possible. So yeah, great question. Thank you for that, Jane. And bring that to our awareness as well. Thank you. Jane says, Bob says, great session today. Thanks, Emily. Oh, you're so welcome. Jane said, I was meant to hear this. I wasn't on the beginning of the call, but switched on during questions and they were enlightening. Awesome. Good. Well, I'm glad you were able to hear some of it. Of course, you can watch the replay or listen to the replay. The replay will be out soon. Right. All right, Marla, is there anything else you wanted to share really quickly? Last words of wisdom, like you said, love yourself, accept yourself. Yep. Awesome. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for all your questions, comments, feedback. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today, Saturday, I know, but thank you for joining us. I actually like doing shows on the weekend, you know, it's like, it's a different energy, right? Different vibe. And it's like more relaxed. Right. Yeah. So thank you so much, Marla. I'm so glad you were here with us. We'll definitely have to have you come back on again. It was the first time with us, but we'll definitely have to have you come back again. So thank you. And again, thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, look at my face. It's so red, right? Because like I'm hot now.
Yay.
Yay, because I was so cold. So thank you. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now. Have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye.